Hey, what's up, y'all? So this is my 12-month HRT update. Obviously, I have just hopped out of the shower, and thrown some clothes on. Um, and honestly, I'm just throwing this together really fast, because I've procrastinated it for a couple weeks and it's now like a little late. Um, but it is what it is. And so I'm just gonna get this out there and move on with our lives. But yeah, so here we go. I guess uh, hard things. Like I don't remember exactly where I left off on my last video, but like kind of slowly making inroads to like being out to more people. Starting to present female more often. Not full time yet, and not even like full time outside of the job yet, but definitely getting closer and figuring it out. Uh, I'm definitely. Um, I started voice training kind of a little bit. Obviously, like it's early in the morning, and I don't really feel like too comfortable with everything. But as we go throughout the day, I'll kind of get more of a lock on it. Um, and life has been kind of busy, so I haven't really been on top of that process as much as I really probably could. Um, but that's okay. Uh, it's a work in progress. And I have voice experience in the past, so keep working on it. Um, this is just kind of a natural middle ground, so I can, I guess, not feel like I'm working too hard in the morning. Um, but definitely, like, I have noticed some, like, cadence shifts. Like, people, like, talk about, like, differences between male and female voice patterns, and most of my friends at this point are women. And so I'm noticing kind of a natural shift to more feminine speaking patterns just because I'm spending all my time with women. Yeah. So, let's see. Obviously, month to month, there's not that much, so I'm just kind of talk through areas that have kind of gone this entire year and kind of do like a year long update, versus like from here until my previous video, which was my first video. So, over the course of a year, and I'll throw like a picture up here ish in that area. Um, so, uh, obviously, there's some changes, some face shape. Um, the first thing that I kind of noticed, like a big thing for me, is like my skin is a lot softer, um, which is kind of a big one. Like, I kind of have a lot of like tactile, like wants and needs, and so having that kind of feeling like more at home in my own skin as it's kind of like softened and gotten that layer of fat and a lot smoother, is super nice. Feels great. Uh, Also, like I have noticed like that little bit of like small layer of fat underneath all my skin. Like I just am hanging out and just a little bit more like wiggle in my lower arm. Um, just women have like just a higher fat content than men. And it helps like round out appearances and feel like softer, which feels great. I promise I'll take my towel off of my hair and show you that growth. But it's soaking wet right now. Um, and then, like obviously, like my face has changed shape a little bit. I've gotten like a little bit of like my fat redistribution there has like raised upwards. Um, so it's gone from like instead of like I was starting to get like a little jowly, as a guy. And what happened after going on HRT is it kind of lifted up into my cheekbones, making my face like a little more angular down. Heart shape is another kind of descriptor. But basically, it's kind of taken emphasis away from like my chin on either side here and here, and raised it up to like my cheekbones, which is super nice. I think I might have noticed like a little bit of like more openness around my eyes. Um, but we'll see. I don't know. That's just kind of everything's really subtle, and so like kind of looking at pictures in the past, you kind of notice it. Um, I'm very much in kind of comfy clothes today, just kind of relaxed stuff. I'll get up and show you in a second. These just kind of relaxed jeans and a comfy shirt and like kind of a bralette. So like I'm not really padding anything out for y'all. I guess. Um, yeah, and then obviously like I'll stand up and show this after I kind of describe through a bunch of the stuff. Um, but like obviously like fat redistribution. I have like hips now. Not that you can really see from there. Um, like hips, obviously like a little bit of chest growth, very very little. I'm very skinny. Um, your mileage will vary. It's okay. I did start when I was like 23 though, so it really like it yeah, like I was always kind of just gonna have like not that much going on up here, and that's fine because it suits my frame, and that wasn't the biggest problem for me, and I'm happy to have what I have. Uh, Obviously, like I've lost a little bit of width off my shoulders just from like muscle mass because I used to be like a competitive swimmer, and so my shoulders were pretty wide comparatively, and it was like a pretty solid dysphoria point. And so it slimmed down some, and then like over the past year, like my legs have kind of filled out a little bit, and I'll like stand up after I go through this. My legs have kind of filled out a little bit, and so like I can wear skinny jeans now and not feel like I have like just ramrod straight all the way down my body. I kind of have just like a little bit of hourglass shape, aided by like a little bit of fat redistribution around my butt and my thighs. Um, and yeah, so I'll kind of get up and just kind of show my silhouette a little bit, just because I know that it's really what I was looking for when I was kind of researching these videos a lot. Um, so it's just like, here's my jeans. You can kind of see like a little more development around my thighs. Um, and then like a little more, I still have like I'm so skinny, but that's okay. And then like if I pull this tight, you can kind of see I've got like a lot of taper in here and here, which is really nice, and like a little bit of silhouette of chest, and then like my neck is kind of long and thin, so I really am just like tall and skinny. If I bulk up a little bit, I could probably rock the um, Amazon warrior vibes, but that is what it is. What else? Uh, let's see. Kind of the fun ones that help me out a lot is like, my fingers have slimmed down a lot. Like definitely in the last little bit before HRT, like my hands were starting to swell a bit, kind of as they do on testosterone. Um, and I really that was bothering me quite a bit. And so having like a thinning down of my fingers kind of makes my hands look a little more feminine and a little like it just feels not even more feminine to me. Like kind of feels like just like more like my hands. Like before, it kind of felt like I was um, my hands were like encased in someone else's hands. Like they were very unwieldy, and it felt like kind of I was wearing thick gloves every once in a while, especially like if I got dehydrated and everything really swelled up. Versus now, it's like, um, now it's actually like starting to feel a lot better and a lot more just like natural and that kind of stuff, which is great. I love it. Uh, I suppose I can take off my towel and kind of show some hair growth, but obviously, like, I had to get a couple trims, and like hair growth is completely personal to each person. Um, but like I'm rocking right about like a little over shoulder length. Um, Obviously, I'm still gonna need to have to dry my hair after this. But I was super lucky. I kind of caught my hairline was definitely like receding just a little bit. Um, and you can kind of see it's growing back in just some as like I got these like little itty bitty baby hairs. I'm not sure if you can see them. Yeah, you can. Little itty bitty baby hairs kind of coming in. It's kind of rounding out my hairline again versus like kind of getting that super square hairline. It's a little more obvious on my left side. You can kind of see this whole patch right here is regrowing in right there. And that was just bare skin. when I started. And so like I have a decent head of hair, um, but definitely that's helped me feel less dysphoric about my forehead. Just in general, which is awesome. We love it. What else? Oh, I suppose I haven't done like the body hair normal stuff. Um, so obviously like any body hair you have is gonna stay there. It's just gonna like thin out a little bit. Like I don't need to shave my legs as much. Like I used to have to shave every day. Or like literally, sorry. I would kind of just like shave and upkeep. Just because it was helping my brain, but it wasn't ever really kind of. It wasn't ever really kind of working. It was just kind of there because I couldn't deal with like long leg hair anymore. I couldn't really deal with how my legs looked like that. Um, versus now I can like shave my leg. Like I kind of shave my legs. Well, mostly I just got exhausted about shaving my legs every day. And now I kind of shave my legs once or twice a week. Which is not to say that I don't necessarily need it. And I would kind of always shave my legs before I wore shorts. Um, but this is also kind of like just like a mental battle of like shaving your legs was definitely just a capitalist scheme by razor companies to sell more razors. And so I really like how my legs are shaven, but it doesn't really start hitting dysphoria points for me until about a week now versus day to day before, which was rough and now is awesome, and we take it. Um, arm hair, obviously I still have arm hair. It's very blonde. It's like a lot blonder and a lot thinner. It's still there, but it's definitely just like phasing out. It's less visual and less like kind of obvious, which I love. Facial hair doesn't change at all. Laser hair removal is kind of the only option for that, or electrolysis. Laser hair is always cheaper, slightly less painful. Electrolysis is pricey and painful, and a bit of a struggle, if we're being honest. But it's permanent versus laser being like kind of a year to year thing. However, laser, even if it's a year to year thing, doesn't ever really come back to the same level of thickness. Um, and so I've kind of done a little bit of laser. Like I was getting a pretty decent 5 o'clock shadow for a little bit there, and that was by far my biggest dysphoria point. Was like feeling it was a very coarse kind of black beard, and so like that was very much my um, heightened dysphoria point was that, and I really I was either like pulling it out or like the month before, kind of going through laser. I ended up I couldn't pluck anymore because they needed to be able to like zap the roots, um, and that was crazy hard, and very like difficult for me. And I just was like sitting there like rubbing my upper lip the whole time, and I had to be as close of a shave as possible, to the point that I was like cutting up my skin trying to get like as close of a shave as possible. Um, and yeah, so that is what it is. And definitely, I'm happy to have at least a lot less. I'm probably gonna have to go to another couple to kind of clean everything else up. But like, I don't know, there's not a lot there, and I feel a lot more comfortable in public without a mask. Outside of like some chin dysphoria still, and some forehead dysphoria, which I won't get into until I maybe do like a specifics about like my dysphorias, and what caused them and why they were there. Um, and everyone's different. But in general, uh, I'm feeling more and more comfortable, kind of out and about. Um, I'm looking just kind of naturally more feminine, um, and like kind of just like a normal person out and about. Like I don't really get second looks, and then especially if I get my voice to lock correctly, I don't get looks based even when I open my mouth. I just am kind of another person existing, which is great. So yeah, I think I'll call it there. As always, if you have any questions, this is only my second video. It will only be like one of five I put up at the same time. So any questions, I will like kind of immediately like kind of try my best to slap on in response in the comments. Cause I don't know, I'm not really expecting to like get a big following off this. I'm just trying to help other trans women, trans feminine people who are really just trying to figure out their own thing. and I'll talk about that another time and talk about like my own kind of experiences in that in the past. But we are rocking right about 15 minutes, so let y'all go. But thank you so much for hanging out and have a great day.